Hi everyone, most people approach manifestation as a linear process. They believe it begins with the thought, then moves into the feeling, and finally becomes physical reality. But what if that's not entirely how it works? What if manifestation doesn't move forward in time, but instead flows backward from your desired reality to the present moment? Quantum manifestation teaches us that time is not fixed. In quantum physics, the past, present, and future are not separate. They exist simultaneously, like layers stacked on top of each other. This understanding opens up a revolutionary perspective. You're not creating a new reality in the future. You're aligning yourself with a version of reality that already exists. This is why manifestation often feels strange or effortless when it truly works. You're not forcing something into being. You're becoming the person who already lives in that reality. And because that version of you already exists, the results can seem to happen backwards. You feel the shift before the external proof appears. Let's take a moment to go deeper. In quantum theory, particles don't follow a straight path. They exist in superposition, meaning they hold multiple potential states at once. Your life is the same. There are infinite versions of you, already living out every possible outcome. Manifestation isn't about creating something new. It's about choosing the frequency of the version that already has what you desire. When you imagine a future where you're healthy, wealthy, or in love, you're not just fantasizing. You're actually tuning into a quantum possibility that already exists. And when you emotionally connect to that vision, you pull its energy into the now. That's the reversal. Instead of working toward the future, you're pulling the future into the present. This is why feelings are more powerful than thoughts. When you think about something, you activate it mentally. But when you feel it, you embody it. You start to broadcast that frequency, like a tuning fork calling the matching reality toward you. It's not wishful thinking. It's vibrational alignment. The mistake many people make is waiting for the outside world to change first. They want to see the money before they feel abundant. They wait for love to arrive before they feel lovable. But in quantum terms, that's backwards. The feeling must come first, because it's the signal that draws the matching outcome to you. And here's where it gets even more interesting. When you fully embody your desired reality, life begins to rearrange itself around you. Events, people, opportunities, they start to shift. Sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. The timeline starts folding toward the version of reality you've chosen to inhabit. This doesn't mean you control every detail. Quantum manifestation isn't about micromanaging the universe. It's about aligning with a frequency and allowing the universe to deliver the outcome in its own intelligent, often unexpected way. You may not know how it's going to happen, but you trust that it already has. This sense of certainty is key. Doubt collapses the wave of possibility. But certainty, deep emotional conviction, solidifies it. That's why people who are lucky often just have an unshakable belief that things work out for them. That belief becomes the portal through which reality rewires itself. You may have already experienced this without realizing. Think of a time you knew something good was going to happen. You weren't hoping. You weren't unsure. You simply felt it as true. And then it unfolded, almost effortlessly. That's quantum manifestation in action. The result flowed backward from your certainty. Even your memories are shaped by this process. When you shift your vibration, your interpretation of the past can change. Events that once seemed painful or limiting start to look like stepping stones. This isn't denial. It's quantum alignment. You're viewing your life through the lens of your new timeline. As you practice this, manifestation becomes less about getting and more about being. You stop chasing outcomes and start embodying energy. You begin each day not by reacting to your reality, but by deciding which version of yourself you are showing up as, and letting life respond to that decision. This also explains why traditional goal setting sometimes fails. When goals are rooted in lack, they reinforce the gap between you and what you want. But when goals come from a place of alignment, from already feeling whole, worthy, and complete, they unfold with less resistance and more flow. So how do you apply this practically? Start by clarifying the version of yourself who already has what you want. How do they feel? How do they think? What do they believe about the world? Begin acting, feeling, and thinking in alignment with that version. Not someday, but right now. Meditation, visualization, journaling, and affirmations are powerful tools. Not because they force reality to change, but because they tune your frequency. Use them not to beg the universe, but to anchor your awareness into the timeline that already contains your desired outcome. And remember, your current reality is not proof of what's possible. It's just feedback from your past vibration. It's a delayed mirror. But once you shift your frequency, the mirror must reflect that new energy. It's not always immediate, but it's inevitable. That's how the quantum field responds. Every time you feel gratitude, peace, love, or joy before the world gives you a reason, you collapse the timeline. You pull the outcome closer. This is how manifestation works backwards. You become the cause, and reality becomes the effect. As you move forward in your journey. Stop trying to make things happen the hard way. Start tuning into the truth that your desires already exist in the field. They're not waiting to be created. They're waiting to be received by the version of you who already knows they are real.